Don't worry about the yelling. Get it out of your head, it's just noise. The push-up position. Finish it, let's go. Feet. How long? 3 minutes. 3 minutes, go! Little steps.
Day one, we met at Heffron at 5 a.m. First day returning back from Christmas break, so January 4. 5 a.m. the players were here, getting themselves prepped for some testing out on the field and some conditioning.
There's probably a bit of like nervous excitement. I think when we first came in, there were whispers getting around that we were probably going to get flogged before we went down. So I think everyone just focused on doing their best on the field.
We had quite a few players that come back in that hit PBs in their testing, which was a good sign of where we were at with our headspace.
Oh, it was funny because day one was a fitness block, and I was like, oh, that must be a good sign, because if that was hard, and that came up a little bit easier.
In that bag again. Whoa. Oh, say less. I'm back in that bag again.
The next one when we get there, let's go stay together. Win. Everyone work together. Buzz on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Then we jumped on a bus and headed down to Jarvis Bay. The players had no idea where we were going.
I reckon the bus would have waited if we were late anyway.
I think there was a couple of stories getting around of where we were going, but no one sort of knew set in stone of the location. It was just get on the bus.
I guess we're just, all teeth on the way down and, smiling, cooing, and once we got off the bus, it was a bit more relaxed.
It was all pretty calm and quiet, and everybody was sort of in an enjoyable mindset. And then, they said, okay, it's time to go. And
then I just went bang straight into it. And
3 minutes to get it done, go.
Yeah, I went to 0 to 100 pretty quick. Out of nowhere, just that scream of just hurry up, get in line, this and that. Your head spinning on your shoulders.
Halfway up, all the way down, all the way up, halfway down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. All the way down. Halfway up.
Good.
All the way down.
Good.
All the way up. All the way down.
Halfway down.
All the way up.
Good.
All the way down.
All the way up.
Stand up. Everyone, down. Too slow on your feet. All the instructors you would have seen there, what brought us together is we were all members of the Special Emergency Response Team, which is the police tactical group for the Queensland Police Service. We get them to do a variety of tasks, and you would have seen there's things from what we call the shake-up at the start, where you'll hear a lot of yelling and screaming, but that's just like a lot of white noise. What we're trying to find there is see if the boys will stay on task, shut out the white noise, follow their process and go through, and you'll find that shared suffering builds that connection. And that's what we're really trying to do here, trying to build connection between this group and bring them together.
Push up position, push up position. Push up position, hurry up. All the way down, all the way up. Halfway down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. Hold it.
You can't help when you've been through that situation before. You're trying hard not to laugh, especially when someone's getting yelled at, because they got you in push-up positions. It's almost laughable at the same time, because you just know you're in for one hell of a couple of days.
You go like this, straight over your back. All right?
All the same, boys.
Staying with the Rabbit, carrying a few items, whether it's stretchers and stuff like that, jerry cans, which got a massive workout straight off the bat. Pretty tough task. Everyone trying to figure out how to do things the right way.
We didn't really know what the rotations looked like. We didn't know what was the most efficient way forwards, and so we were kind of trying to adapt on the run. But
you probably learn by the end of the camp, it's all about quick rotations and not holding something for too long, where at the start everyone's trying to impress each other and hold it for longer and not give it over.
So boys, we've got a river crossing here. All we need to do, we need to get the packs, the jerrys, and the slam balls over. None of that equipment can get wet, okay?
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was one of the funny ones. We knew it was pretty deep in the middle, so we had to send the taller boys out in the middle.
there was some spots that were really small, like short, and then they started to get real deep. And you know, a lot of us boys are a bit over 6 foot, so you can only imagine like Campbell Graham there, like he was like head underwater in some spots. So
I just remember Hosty and Shaq, I think there were a couple who just kept going underwater every time they had to take something because they obviously weren't tall enough either. So that was a big ask for those guys.
Yeah, I think a few things got wet. I think Fletch got knocked and split on the head, and, but just how they react when that stuff happens, I guess, was something I was really proud of the boys. Just knowing that we were just going to keep going and going and didn't know when or what was going to stop or how we were going to stop. And I just think we just had to switch on.
You know, trying to catch that rabbit, there was a couple of times where he took off, especially along the beach. The legs were very heavy, and there was a lot of boys which could have broke, but we all got through it.
It sort of set us up for the rest of the camp, made us understand through actually doing what works well and how to work best as a team. And
obviously those camps are always designed to be mentally and physically hard. There are moments that you go through in that camp where you're not at your best in the first maybe 15, 20 minutes, you're not doing your best. But then you find a kick from your teammate or something and that gets you through. Maybe the other way around, you know, you start hard and then you hit a wall. Within the exercise, and your teammates there to help you out.
All right, so we're going to allocate a rabbit per stretcher. Your task is if you can catch a rabbit by the top of that hill there, the Navy call it the Heartbreak Hill, so that hill there next to us, it's done. So that group will be done.
Yeah, just after a long trek and all that other stuff to go into that little effort was quite hard. One thing you learn from camp and what we learned from that part is no matter how tired you are, you can always find more, which was a big thing everyone, I'm sure, learned over the camp.
Let's just get it set up like this first.
So I had to obviously build our tents for where we're going to stay. We tried to find the boys who'd done the most camping. Jack Whiten came in big, but then obviously a few other boys who'd never touched a tent before, they knew what they were doing as well and just got on the road. So
I think number one takeaway from that is that, you know, the more voices there are, the harder it is.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of Chiefs, not enough Indians. AJ was trying to, tell us how to pitch a tent. He's never been camping in his life. And
yeah, that was actually pretty hard. Probably shouldn't have been, but it was.
I think one of the best things about the camp is it gets to embrace the new players to the club and they get to spend some quality time and they get to know their teammates on a lot deeper level. And, you know, hearing the players talk, some of the things they spoke about was the fun they had at night in their tents that they put up, quite dodgy tents that they put up, but, you know, they found a way to connect and get to know each other better. And the guys that have come down from Townsville, and yeah, I'm sure they felt much more part of the club after that experience. And guys like Jack and Kepi and a few of the other trainer trollers that are new to the club that, you know, the existing players got to know them a lot more. There was a task at the end of day one, you know, and that's probably the worst day because players are still knowing there's still 2 more days of this to come and they can get quite in their own head a little bit around that time. But I felt like during that task, which was one of the more brutal tasks I've seen in my time, as how they handled that was first class, and the way they came out of it and understanding of, okay, this is what we're going to be about for the rest of the camp.
Mate, I'll tell you what, that was the mental battle, I think, with everything. And
Find it here. Find it here.
By far, this one definitely has to be one of the hardest things I've ever done on a camp for sure. The forearms were burned, the shoulders were burning, and I don't even know how long it took us, but we got it done.
The balance beam, you know, PVC pipe full of water, and you know that. I think Keon was a beast in that, so he really showed, you know, his strengths in that.
Definitely a good wake-up call for the first day of pre-season 24.
Red, up, green. So when that person jumps in and swims, as soon as he ties the knot and jumps up, get out. You just get out and wait down there.
Day 2 was sort of like the get through this, then we'll be all right. You know, sort of day. Early wake up, obviously. Did an exercise, get in the pool, tying ropes in the pool.
No goggles, can't really see underwater too much, so that was quite difficult. But we managed to get it done, which was pretty cool. Everyone managed to swim down there, go underwater and tie the knot. But that was just a little mental battle, I guess, in the morning to get us going after, you know, not much sleep and a bit tired from the day before.
I think the canoe was, really good. I think the race was funny.
Most of us were good, but it was hilarious watching those boys struggle a little bit out in the water trying to paddle the canoe. Definitely lifts the spirits a bit.
You know, you want to win and be competitive, but also you can't help but not laugh, and just the boys' boats going left, right, centre, but also just having that laugh in the morning to start it, get the energy going was really good.
I was with a good group. I was with Fletch and Hazen, and Hazen got MVP of camp, and you know, he was just talking away the whole time. We had a good little system in our boat, and we did pretty well.
That's the crew, bro. That's the crew, baby.
Seen a few boys capsize, which was pretty funny. The guys who, you know, from Samoa, they live in the sea, but they know how to kayak a boat.
You gotta read that rescue code?
Yeah, just wait for these fellas here. So when they all come back in, we're just going to get in the water and just form a tunnel of love so they go straight under for the
Don't miss tunnel of love.
Don't grab the strap, grab inside.
4 minutes, lads.
Go!
We were in 3 teams. We each had our own little allocation of jerry cans, and I think the game was over when one team emptied their jerry cans. And you know, everything that we did, there was a real sort of hard work, tough grind component, and you couldn't escape from that. But there was also like a tactical component to it as well.
Communication, stay at task, stay at task.
Yeah, it was a good sort of analogy for our retreat speed in defence and getting back on side, and the little effort areas and selfless sort of acts on the field that a lot of people don't see but makes a big difference. So
that was just about staying in the grind, staying in the fight, stay to the process. Don't get bored, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it.
You know, that's a good metaphor for us. Like the Reds, actually, they were getting stacked against, but then they actually came back and they nearly got rid of the cans. So I think it doesn't matter how far you are down, you can always fight if you just keep going.
Nice, Tom.
Couldn't help but laugh, and you know Tommy, and anyone that knows Tom is just like, he's passionate, and when he's got something in his head, he just goes with it. And
yeah, he was a bit of a highlight from the camp. Old Tommy, his his chat and everything he was doing was just good energy, good buzz. So something we needed right from day one, and he carried it on right to day 3. So that was good of Tommy.
Yeah, it's definitely important to have some laughs or find a way to smile through the adversity, I guess. Even the young boys, they're forced to talk a bit as well. The ones that are a bit quiet, just that's how it brings the team closer together too.
You know, we got blindfolded on the second day, and
It was like the I'm a celebrity, get me out of here stuff, you know, like.
Now front end way, you got heaps of mouse traps.
and when I was blindfolded, I sort of knew where I was because you could hear the water, but I couldn't remember because we'd done a task in there that morning. I couldn't remember how high the platform was from the water. So once you jump and you get past that moment of where you were, you sort of have a drop in your stomach and you don't know how far you're going to jump. So I was sort of a little bit nervous to jump to begin with, but you just sort of psych yourself up and get it done. But a couple of the boys were quite funny, Tane Milne, Keon and Richie, they were pretty funny.
I remember having Tass next to me, and I was like, me and him were like almost holding hands the whole time, like just didn't want us to know that someone was there, that we were like looking after each other there, because TLT boys kept coming around, grabbing us in the ribs, barking at us, like sticking grass and stuff in our nose and ears and just trying to annoy us.
Jeffy!
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Heart of the Caribbean.
Someone just hurry up and take us.
Once we got taken away, they sort of come and kidnap you, take you away, and then they walk you down these stairs. It gets a bit darker there, but obviously you can hear the pool. So you sort of got a rough idea what's going on.
You know, you had the rehab boys trying to sort of zone you in and know where to walk because there was mouse traps everywhere on this platform that you had to jump off. And
yeah, I think there's two parts of it that are really important. You know, the communicator being nice and direct in the way they communicate and the way they say the message that they're trying to get across, but also the person with the blindfold on, you know, putting their trust in the teammate, but also listening to instructions really well. Yeah, it was good. It was good for my, you know, development and my communication skills with, you know, where I need players to get to on the footy field and how I portray that message or how I project that message out to the teammates is important. So it was good exercise for me.
Jump, stars, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Walk to each other up. So this is very much about how you communicate, because you're not going to be able to walk with it on one shoulder the whole time. It's one of those implements where teamwork is the most important thing. 2, 1, up, ready? 5, 2, 1, over! 2, 1, drop! 7, ready? Over! Drop! 2, 1, over!
Right. Ready? Left foot. 3, 2, 1. Now. 3, 2, 1. Right.
And a big sandbag of what was called the worm. It was, I know, probably weighed 200 kilos or way more than that. I think was those exercises where physically tough, but then having to do it together. The exercises was the whole concept of, you know, that doing the tough things.
Yeah, to be honest, with me, I was a bit rattled at times, and you know, my head went, and then I'd find it again, and that's something I had to find and learn about myself. And but that's what that's what their camps are all about. And
Last way, Kevin. Head up, head up. Lads. Let's go, no!
So having my mate to give me a hand in the back and push me up the hill, or you know, just something. You know, so simple, but also just helps in the long run. But you know, we got through it together, and I knew that everyone was hurt at the same point. But yeah, I think it was the biggest thing was the teamwork of it.
When you're lifting this big worm over and back over your head, the green team stuffed up a bit, and
Actually, we were waiting to go to get blindfolded, and we saw Jai's team drop the worm on his head, so that was pretty funny for us.
but it's some of the funniest footage you'll ever see of Jai getting coat angered by that big worm. So.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
And then there was a bit of miscommunication with the worm. You can't control that thing by yourself, I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah. Did anyone see what happened on that second worm towards the end when Jai decided he'd take it on? We got so much in our head about wanting to finish it that we actually didn't finish the task because we didn't stay on task. At one stage there, in a pair of 6, and I don't know how the fuck he managed to do it, but it was sensational.
You managed to have 3 pairs facing opposite each other and still going there at one stage. That's how much you became self-focused. But what happened there is because we got self-focused, we actually f***ed the task, didn't we? And in the process, we nearly take out one of our mates. And if we look at that in a footballing sense, and if we look at what happened there, he's out of the defensive line there. And what happened? Big hole, isn't it? All because we got in our own head and we were hurting a bit and we went to being self-focused. That there, boys, is our reference, isn't it? It's a good learning. It's a good thing to think about as you progress through the year.
That's heavy, eh, son?
All the way with
you get that on video? Big one here, big push here. 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. Let's finish it together. Down.
I went into a little home and away series where it was set out like a home game and then a away game. Competition between 4 different teams.
So the home games were meant to be easy, and the away games were meant to be hard, and they were really hard. And it was like last year, we had a lot of away games.
You good?
You want to rest?
Nah.
What's up, boy? Come on, boys. Go, Ken!
Yes, country.
Big arms.
Just not good, you, mate.
Yeah, Fletcher.
Easy work, country.
We had a lot of fun, even though there was a lot of hard work in it. And I think there was probably a lot of individual standouts in different sort of areas. So Lockie probably was a big standout for our team. He was just soldiering on through the hard stuff. He's a great talker. Was leading the charge with the physicality stuff as well.
You know, we found some really good comms and good growth in those exercises, mentally and physically too. So that was a tough one. That was probably like a maybe 3-4 hour activity where we just had to keep going. And the hardest thing was, you know, you go from a hard thing and you can go to a little exercise where you could relax for like that 20-25 minutes, whatever it was. And as soon as you come off that relax, you're right into something real hard. So, but the good thing is it wasn't individually focused. It was more how we can work this out as a team.
Go as one, eh?
It's just about, you know, when you go to the depths, you know, that you go to, and just to see where your head's at and how you react under pressure. And I think, yeah, all of us done well.
That was probably one of the toughest sort of times during the camp as well. Obviously, probably about 2 days in there. So
when you're in the hurt locker, I guess, and everyone sometimes can go quiet. And I think for me, if I'm talking, sometimes it's more I'm more talking just for my own sake, to get out of my own head. And you just talk. You might just yell out someone's name, try and get a response back from them. Bring up something funny from a drill that happened before, try and have a bit of a laugh. But yeah, you got to talk, or else you can stay in your own head for a long time, and it gets quite dark and quiet in there.
I just enjoyed the fact that whatever was asked of them, they went after it. You know, we've got a great group that do respond and are willing to put their hand up and go after it no matter what's asked of them. And I thought as a group they did that really well. As a coach, that's what you want to see. You want to see them get tested. You want to see how they come together or pull apart and what it does to us as a team. And what I was most proud of was that it just galvanised our resolve.
Run out of petrol.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we wanted to improve is making sure that, you know, we get our core values in order, but also holding us to account, focusing in on what we wanted to look like as a team.
What the camp does is test those values and then redefine them into what's going to be important standards that we set for 2024. And every year's a new year, and every year you take lessons from the previous year, and that's what our values will put us in good stead going into next year. But The most important thing is you come out with a clear picture of what you want to be about, and that sets the standard of training, and it sets everything that you go about inside the four walls here at Heffron. We come in 5 a.m. after 2 weeks off. We have 17 PBs, Crowley, 17 PBs in the 1.2. And we've been on the go ever since. I'm watching blokes out here at 5 o'clock pushing trucks around the field. It's still running. Don't tell me in the 70th minute after what you've done the last 2 days that you can't find an effort in a kick chase.
Physically, they should have been in worse shape after 3 days. They were actually getting stronger. They were connected, they were together, they were having fun, but most importantly, they were working hard for each other.
So we've got some equipment in the truck and we need to pick up some stuff.
We knew in for a big morning. We had a truck and we were told we had to push it around to everywhere where we'd use equipment.
It was probably the best thing because all of us were pushing it and get your mate, switch positions on the truck.
Then we're trying to play Tetris with all the equipment to get it on, to get it off, put it back on to make sure everything fits on there properly. Camo's doing a great job there up on the truck, sort of trying to place everything.
The funny thing was we had to be quiet because it was obviously early hours in the morning. Tommy starts pulling out some chants and some singing and then we had to be quiet.
Shall we push it up the hill? Yes, we can.
These camps are never easy. A lot of the times you can get people throw the towel in or wave the white flag, but no one really gave up. Everyone sort of gave it their best.
After that was done, we got back to where we were to camp and they had a game set up.
Come and do that switchboard challenge the game, and that was a bit fun, and then you had to go, all right, surely we're done, like it's the last day, and then we had to flip the switch again and just go, all right, we're back into it.
The communication was high and the energy was high.
Just didn't know when we were going to finish, how far we had to go.
We did a big yui, thinking we're coming back to the base and we're going home now, yes. We ended up going around to the beach and all the way up the other hills and everything.
We had a certain time to get to the clock tower and that was it. After 3 days again, everyone had found that energy to one last effort.
When we finished, it was just the best thing ever, and I'm just thinking the unknown, but also then knowing that, all right, we got one hill to go up, let's just do it, and everyone just, chipped in and done it, and there was no complaining, and I think by the end of it, everyone's laughing and cooing around, so.
What do you do when you win a game of football? Celebrate. Go and fucking sing
If you'd put me on camera after the very first run, I probably would have thought and said to you, South are in a bit of trouble. But their development and the team that just finished, look out.
Nothing you do in the season will be as hard as what you've done over the last 3 days. We walk away with here knowing who we are. Who are we? South Sydney. Who are we?
South Sydney!
The group got stronger and stronger. The more adversity they went under, they handled it and they found ways to deal with it, and they got some real coping mechanisms that they were able to put into their footy as well and translate that onto the field. And to see them finish and the excitement that they finished with was important. And I can't credit the TLT boys and HMAS Creswell as well for their role they played in the camp and how that allowed the players to grow and get what they needed out of it.
In the last 12 months, I've been away for 5 months. I've only been back 2 months. So I've been away from my family, my friends, but I had the opportunity to come and see South Sydney.
It made you feel very honoured and privileged to be in a position where a lot of guys look up to you.
What you guys represent is my heart and soul. It's what my kids, they run around. They had this new little move, they run up and they touch something on the wall. What are you guys doing? They went, oh, that's how Campbell Graham scored the last try. So there's something special, but you don't realise you're passing something on to these kids, like coming through, you're inspiring people. You've got no idea. They're on the other side of the screen. And I want to say thank you. It's an absolute privilege to be here. I was away on leave. And I said to my wife, I hope you don't mind.
When you hear those sort of stories from fans and that puts a fair bit of perspective in place where you really love what you do and you're honoured to wear the red and green every single week.
You take a lot of learnings and lessons from the last couple of days, and we'll be much better for it. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
For a lot of the guys, I think it was a fair bit of relief because it was a big 2 or 3 days, not knowing when it was going to end and not knowing what was coming next. I think that's a big thing that we need to improve on, is not worrying about what's to come. It's just focusing on the task at hand, not worrying about what's gone on before us, but just making sure that we're stuck in the present.
Over those 3 days, I don't remember any of the boys cracking under the pressure or what we were doing. None of the young boys throwing in the towel, everyone ripping in, trying their best.
I may be hurting, I may be down, whatever it may be, but there's more in me that can give.
But that's one of the special things about this game, is that you get to learn every day about who you are as a person and an athlete, and I think that's a special thing for me, because now I know where I want to head and what teammate I want to be this year. So
people that haven't experienced stuff like that before, it can be pretty easy for them to kind of go into their shell a bit and go into their heads, but every single one of them were just doing their best in every moment to be a good teammate, and there'll be definitely moments during this year that we can look back on. If we can get through something like that, there's not much else that we can't get through, I don't think.
Coming back here, it's probably ignited that drive in us even more to appreciate what we've got when we're here.
Oh, straight at it.
Nearly hooked Jack. Big sea turtle, look at him. Kevin goes, oh, we're going down for a fishing comp.
No, I didn't.
No story about television.
There's no crowd without us and our family.
And I thank God Bleak for that, and it was a great thing for us. It changed my life completely.
And how's your pain levels going? Pain's been sweet. A lot of screws, a lot of wiring that through it, plus I had to get some microfractures done to some cartilage that was missing.
I got to know and bond with the boys for hard work, so the next stage is pulling that jersey on.
It just makes me so excited to see what we can do this year.
They're two players that are going to really have an impact on our squad.